filling in a spreadsheet, one of the things we have to be careful about is inputting incorrect information. So you can use Excel's fill series option so it inputs the data for you and you have less of an opportunity to make a mistake. Plus it's faster. In fact, it's kind of cool, to be honest with you. I love this part of Excel and have always loved it. I'm here in a spreadsheet we worked with earlier, but you may notice I've gotten rid of my headers for February and March. I only have January listed in cell B2. Well, Excel recognizes the months. It recognizes them spelled out or in their three-letter abbreviations. So I have the three-letter abbreviation for January, and you'll notice my active cell is B2 where January is listed. If I put my mouse over the bottom right corner, notice there's a little square on the outline here. My mouse changes into a crosshair. So I have a crosshair shape rather than the white plus. And I click and I drag, and I even get a little tooltip. Notice that little February tooltip hanging down below? And I drag again, and I'm going to just drag further out just so you can see it is pre-filling the data for me. And I could start with any of the months. Here's July. I could go down from July, and it's going to pre-fill the data for me starting from whichever month I start with. Let me take those out and I'll show you. If I spell January out, check my little green check, grab that handle. Now I get the months spelled out. So you can do the abbreviation or you can do the spell out. Now it does a lot more than that. I can put in Monday, and I'm just going to do the three-letter abbreviation just like we did with the months, and there comes Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. I can put in quarter 1, QTR1, and it'll recognize because I have letters followed by a number that I'm trying to increment. So it'll automatically give me quarter 1, quarter 2, quarter 3, and quarter 4. I can do that with just about anything. District 1, grab the handle, District 2, 3, 4, 5, and so forth. I can actually use this with numbers. If I put in the number 20, let's say I'm just going to put in kind of a default value and I want it to be 20 in a particular field, then the autofill will just copy 20 straight down. If I wanted to increment by 1, then when I put in 20, let me get rid of these here, I grab my handle, hold down my control key, and notice the crosshair has a little plus sign above it. So now it's going to count 21, 22, 23, 24, and so forth. So it's a really cool tool to put into your Excel input data bank, so you can use this when you're trying to input information. One other thing that I can do here, I'm going to take that back out. Let's say I'll start with 10, and I wanted to increment by 5. So I need 2 cells to show it the pattern. So I do 10 and I do 15. Highlight both of those because it has to see the pattern. Grab the handle. And now I am incrementing by 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, and so forth. There are a lot of different ways I can use this, and in a later module we'll show you how to customize your own list. So if you have departments and you want to create a list of your departments, if you have locations and you want to create a list of your locations, you can do that too. Now that's some of the things we can do, and let me clean up all this junk I've put into my spreadsheet because obviously I've been playing. I challenge you to play with that a little bit too because it is a lot of fun to do and to see what all you can do with it. You can always replay this module a few times to get the hang of what's going on here. But I now have my months in here, and one of the things that I might want to do is input a total in column E for total sales, total expenses for the quarter. I can use autofill to help me with this. We use autofill because we're going to add up our sales numbers. So I have cell E3 selected. I press the AutoSum. Of course, it automatically finds the cells with the numbers, and it just as a reminder, AutoSum first looks above the active cell. If it doesn't find numbers there, then it goes off and looks to the left of the active cell. So I accept that, and then I can use my autofill handle to copy that formula down. So I can use it also for copying formulas. Another thing I can do when I'm trying to input a formula is if I highlight the range where the formula is going to go and I click on AutoSum, it automatically calculates it for all of them. So that's another quick and easy way to input my data. Now I'm going to come down here to this formula because it's not AutoSum. This is a subtraction formula because we subtract expenses from sales. Wish we could add them, but we can't. So I'm going to take out that formula. So I'm going to type in my formula, which is equals B3 minus B4, sales minus expenses. And I want that formula to move across and copy into these other cells. So I'll do Control Enter, and boom, there we have it. It is C3 minus C4 and D3 minus D4. One thing to note here, and we'll talk about this in the formulas module too, is when I copied these formulas, it became from B3 minus B4. When it moved over a column, Excel's smart enough to know that you need to be now C3 minus C4. So it copies it relative to where you've copied it. Over here in column E, where I have the formula sum of B3 through D3, it knows when I copy the formula down a row that the row reference has to change to B4 to D4. And that's what we call relative reference. And we're going to talk about that a little bit more in the formula section, because you can actually have it forced to look at the same cell every time as you copy a formula too. A couple other things just to show you. If you wanted to put in the current date in your spreadsheet, Control plus the semicolon automatically pulls the date in. Now y'all know what day it is while I'm typing this. If I do Control Shift and the colon, it gives me the current time. So hey, it's September 13th at 10:25 a.m. for me right now. So I can put in that information in my spreadsheet if necessary. A couple other things that I can do if I'm inputting data in a spreadsheet and I want that data to be in the next cell. Then I can do Control and the apostrophe, and it'll immediately copy whatever is in the cell below. One last thing we can use with autofill is you do have it on your Home tab in the ribbon. So if you'll notice, I have my Home tab and I come all the way over here to the right in my editing section, and there's a fill drop down. Let's say I wanted to put in a series of data and I wanted just to use the fill option. Maybe I wanted to start with the number 1960 and increment by 3. So I'm going to first put that into a cell. I'm going to highlight the range where I want the numbers to appear. And up here, again, my Home tab, all the way to the right, the editing group, and there's the fill drop down. I'm going to click on that drop down, and notice I have a series option in this drop down, and I'll click on that, and it's saying, do you want the series in the row or the column? It's defaulted to the row at this point. I want linear, so I'm going to tell it to step value of 3. So in other words, change the value every 3. So 1960 plus 3 is 1963, and so forth. I click OK, and there you have it. So if you have a large range and you don't want to have to click and maybe drag past the edge of your spreadsheet that you can see on your screen, this might be the better way to do it. Using this option and click in the first cell, go find the last cell, shift click, and then create your fill drop down. So there are a lot of different ways to help you input your data in your spreadsheet and to help you avoid error.